Um, anybody's birthday? Arlo's birthday and my father's birthday was this week, and Magdashit for my father's health, um, my mother's health, Shapsi ben Sidel Spider Basrachel, my brother Shmuel ben Sapira, and everybody that needs a Yeshua and a refuah. And I thank Hashem, the Rabbim. Hashem saved my life this week. I had a little procedure. I'm sitting here with you from the hospital, so I hope Dave she gives me the koyach and the mayach to be able to share a little of his Dvar Hashem. So let's start with Hashem's help. Shlach l'chan Hashem. Hashem tells Moshe, Shlach l'chan Hashem, send for lahanoscha l'tevascha. By lech lecha it says lech lecha, it's lahanoscha l'tevascha for your benefit. What's the benefit for Moshe Rabbeinu? So it says, okay, we'll get back to that. Shlach l'chan Hashem, it's for your benefit because if they go, then Moshe Rabbeinu gets to live another 40 years. Not 40 years, almost 40 years. He gets to live because they don't go to Yisrael. Moshe Rabbeinu wanted rather to go Al Pi Hashem, to go right away, although he's going to lose his life, but he cared about Hashem. So lanoscha l'toivascha, the toiv is that you're going to be feeding Klal Yisrael, leading Klal Yisrael for another almost 40 years. Right? I don't have a chumash yet, so I took my phone. So it says, Vayishlach oisam Moshe, Midbar Polen, he sent a Midbar Polen. What's the significance of Midbar Polen? So the next word is Al Pi Hashem, according to Hashem. Kulam Anoshim, they're all men. Rosh Hashanah Yisrael, Hema, the heads, the leaders of the Jewish nation, leaders of tribes and so on. Lav Dafka, it's the leader of the tribe. It was a leader for this mission. Not everybody was the same as the general Nasi. But here, the point is that it says Anoshim, they should be men. Why not women? Well, it turns out the women, the Gemara says, get Tisha Kavim. So they talk more than men. And because men don't listen, they have to say everything twice, the famous joke. The point is that men were supposed to be less talkative, less slanderous, and it turns out that the women were going to go to Yisrael. They wouldn't question Hashem. They had emunah, total trust. So, in other words, the women would do a much better job in terms of slandering against Yisrael. But Hashem says kulam anoshim, it should be men. But anoshim over here means, Rashi says they were kosher at that time, right? I forgot the lashon kshedim hayu. They were still kosher. That answers Al Pi Hashem. How could you use Hashem's name for the shoyim? The teretz is Midbar Polen. By Midbar Polen, it says the end of the story with Yishmael and the water. Yishmael was going to die, and Hashem saved the day and brought him water, and his mother found water, and she gave him to drink. And it says he was in Midbar Polen, and his mother took a wife for him. I can't remember now. My head is not working. It's the first laning of the first day of the laning of the first day of Rosh Hashanah. So over there, Midbar Polen, what happened by Midbar Polen? What happened was that Hashem says, Ba'asher Usham. All the Malachim said, Yishmael, you're going to save the one that's going to kill the Jews with summer, with thirst. So you're going to kill him, you're going to save him. Why would you do that? Hashem says, Ba'asher Usham, right now, he's good. He's a tzaddik right now. He's crying. He's doing tshuva. Or at least he's not so evil this second when he's vulnerable, when he's under attack, when he feels like he's dying. So this second, Hashem says, I judge a person according to right here, right now. Right now, by Midbar Polen, he was good. So the same Midbar Polen, the Torah says that the Yidden, the 10 out of the 12 Nisim that went to spy, it was to Tor, Losur is to Tor, to see the positive, not the negative. Meraglim, it comes in the bottom, you see. So what you see over here is that voice is shok shedim hoyu. In that time they were kosher. That's why Hashem rests His name upon them. That's why it's Pi Hashem. So where did it go wrong? Hashem says shlach lecha anoshim. It could have said shlach anoshim. Why shlach lecha? So pashup shat lanoscha l'tevascha. That means you're going to gain 40 years. Okay, but let's go drop deeper. It says shlach lecha because it's a chazaka shlich oisa shlichusay, and it's if you do the shlichus, the question is who's your shliach, and that's where they went wrong. If you look in Devarim, I prepared this in Devarim. It says, where is this? You all came running to me. Rashi says, Barvuvya, no respect. It was so urgent. Let us send anoshim, people in front of us. In other words, and so let them dig up the land. They should answer to us. But they should tell us, they should answer to us which way should we go, in the cities that we should approach, and so on and so forth. What's shutting that? That is, if the Mechaleach, the sender, is corrupt, so the Shlich can't be better than the sender. So if the Shlichim of the Jewish nation, that they have ill and malice, malicious intentions, so the shlich won't be better. So Hashem tells Moshe, "Shlach l'chol, let them be your shlichim." If it's your incentive, they're going as shlichus of you. You're the Meshaleach, and you're pure and humble, so that it's going to work out. But otherwise, it won't work out. So Moshe Rabbeinu goes and davens for Yeshua. He didn't daven for Kalev. Kalev davened for himself. What did he daven for Yeshua? Oh, Yeshachem atzas meraglim. Hashem should help you and give you the right answer against the meraglim. Why? There's many reasons. One, Yeshua was very, assertive in one sense. He blunt. He said it the way it is, and they might kill him because he won't go against. But there's a different shot over here. By Eldad made him machne. So it says, "Adoni Moshe kloyim, quiet them down or destroy them." Right? Why? Because they said Moshe makes Yeshua machnes. Moshe is going to die, and Yeshua will bring the Yidden in. And Yeshua went crazy. He didn't want his rabbi to die. So you might think that Yeshua will go to Israel and he'll go on the side of the Meraglim. Why? Because they don't want Israel because they still want to stay the leaders. They have their own interest. Yeshua's interest would be that if they go back and they don't go to Israel, then Moshe Rabbeinu doesn't die and is right to the Rebbe. That's what Yeshua wanted. So Moshe Rabbeinu davened Yeshua shouldn't go with him. Why? Because he knows that Moshe, he got very angry when Eldad made it misnab b'machne, and they said that Moshe is going to die and Yeshua's machnes. So you have over here shlach lecha. If they're your shluchim, so then it's a whole different story. If it's Meshaleach sense, it starts off good, but the rechte fus, then you can. So if you want to go one step weiter, why? What's so good about mitzvah? I can't talk now, so I'm going to just say it very short. Mitzvah v'oisa, what's the greatness about mitzvah v'oisa? Besides that you have to put in the effort and you have the Yitzhahara. Why is the Yitzhahara when there's mitzvah v'oisa? When God gives you command, and therefore if you commanded, it's higher a level than not being commanded. Push you took out the garbage, I didn't even have to tell you. That's better, that's voluntary. So why is if I gave you a command, you did what I said? Because it's the Yitzhahara. Once you get the command, you don't want to do it. Once you tell me what to do, I don't want to do it. But why mitzvah v'oisa? Why mitzvah v'oisa is better? And the reason is because if you have mitzvah v'oisem, why is the Yitzhahara not to do it? Because if you get schar, you should invest. It's a good answer. But more than that, because if you have a mitzvah, you're connected to the mitzvah. If you have the mitzvah, and Hashem is the mitzvah, He's the one that commands. So it's shlich shalom kemoise. You become mamish like Havaya Baruch. You become mamish like Hashem. You become His personal shliach. That means you're doing the Lord's work. What does that mean? You're an extension of the Rebbeinu Shalom. It's a whole different story. The Gemara says, I forgot the lashon, right? So you can give the koyin, right? You gave a neder, you can still give the koyin because the Gemara has a shaila, a machlokes. If it's shlucha didon or shlucha derachmana, and the Gemara comes out shlucha derachmana, who do find him work for? The shlucha didon, our shluchim when they bring the carbon, our representatives to bring the carbon to Hashem, or it's shlucha derachmana, the Hashem's representatives. Well, the difference is if it's our representatives. So they're like us. If they're like us, anybody can be our shliach. But here's no, that the Gemara comes out without. It's shluch derachmana. If it's shluch derachmana, why do you need shluch derachmana? For that very reason, you need a mitzvah v'oisa. And the reason is because if it's shliach shlodin kamoisa, we get the koyach of David, and you can't go wrong. Hashem doesn't make mistakes. But they went to shluchas of the Yidden and not Moshe Rabbeinu. That's shlach lecha. Okay, I have to shorten it up because I'm getting dizzy. So here's the thing. They go weiter. Hashem says, Albom shona yom lashona yom lashona. What does that mean? 1 day for a year. No, they went their days. They didn't go years. It should have said a year for every day they went to Yisrael. So what's Pshat Yom Lashona? And the teretz is that it sounds like Hashem, they just, all they said, I don't want to go to Yisrael, they have to get killed out like crazy. No, it was a Malik Valdige Chesed. Why? If Hashem would say Yom LeYom and not Yom Lashona, it means every day, 40 days, that includes their traveling there and back. If that will be only 40 days you have to stay, that's not tested. Why? Everybody dies out. You don't want to see it Yisrael? Okay, see now even if you want, I don't let you. So if everybody dies out, where's the Einiklach? No Einiklach. What Hashem did, anybody that was 20 and above, they lived at least 60 years, Chazal teach us, Rashi. So it means that they died. If somebody was almost 60, he died the first year. He was 58, he died in 2 years, and so on and so forth. But everybody got to live to 60 years. That's why you need 40 years in the midbar. Now, what's the Gavaldige Chesed? It's only Yom Lashona. Only one day a year, Tisra Savinas Avoinei Seichem. 1 year, only Tisha B'Av you die. You don't die the whole year. So that was the thing. There was only one day a year. That's Yom Lashona. Okay, I have to go. Why Va'avdi Kolev Ekevoisa Ruach Acheres Imoy? He had a different spirit. What about Yeshua? He doesn't get to go to Eretz Yisrael. I'm going to bring him to the land. The teretz is Hashem. Moshe Rabbeinu says you're going to say Mitzrayim. Where's the lashon? 1 second, let me find it. Here. Moshe Hashem. Moshe tells Hashem, when Hashem says, I'm going to destroy the Akenu Vadever Voideshenu, I'm going to make a great nation out of you. But Moshe tells Hashem, no, you took out of Mitzrayim with starke koyach, with great might. And okay, I'm skipping. And then they say, a few psukim, and it says, because Hashem is not competent, in other words, or in this case, he doesn't have the cable, doesn't have the koyach, he can't bring them into the land of Israel, therefore it's never slaughtered in the Chas v'Sholom in the Midbar. Why would they say so? If they see Mitzrayim with such a strong koyach, Hashem used such strong koyach as Mitzrayim, the Nisim and the Flois of Mitzrayim and the Yamsov, why would they say Hashem can't? The teretz is because we came to Mitzrayim, they said halolu, oivez, both aren't good. So why are you saving the Jews? Hashem said on credit, even if they don't deserve it. So what happened to Mitzrayim? What happened to Mitzrayim? Hashem said even if they don't deserve it, He saved them. Now, if you're saying they don't deserve it by the Merchet Meraglim, so save them even if they don't deserve it. Elamais, if you're not saying them, it's not the Kenstish. That's a big chil Hashem. And Hashem says, "Vayom Hashem salachti kedvrecha." It shouldn't be lo mayom Mitzrayim. Okay. Then you have. So Hashem says, "Va'avdi kolev ekavois ruach acheres imoy." So kolev is saved. Where's Yeshua? How come it doesn't mention Yeshua? It does mention Yeshua a few psukim later. It says. Both. But here it doesn't mention. Why not? Moshe Rabbeinu says, Rabbeinu Shalom, you promised the others that you're going to save their kids. It says, the fourth generation will return to Eretz Yisrael. So Hashem says, that's why I have Kalev. But why not Yeshua? Because Yeshua is the fifth generation. You have Yehuda, right? You have Yehuda, next is Peretz, next Chetzroin, and then Kalev. That's the fourth generation. Yeshua going up to Ephraim, that's going to be the fifth generation. So that's why only Kalev is mentioned. So let's reiterate and oh yes, I don't have koyach. Just I have to skip. I can't talk more. I'm just going to say one more word in the story, and that's it. It says the parsha of Tzitzis. Tzitzis is when you look deeper in and you see Hashem is connected. Who's the Meshaleach? That's the whole. Tzitzis is the peak. So who's the Meshaleach? I just want to say the last pasuk. It says, "Ani Hashem Elokeichem, I'm God, your God." Hashem is Midas Rachman. Elokeichem Midas Adin. Hashem says, I took you out of Mitzrayim, to be a God for you. Ani Hashem Elokeichem. Why say twice? Ani Hashem. Beginning of the pasuk, and end of the pasuk. And the teretz is, it says we say it in Yom Shlishi of the Yom. Ani Amarti Elokim Atem. I said that you people are divine people, right? What's Pshat Elokim Atem? There's Midas Rachman, Midas Adin. Midas Rachmim is when you're a failure. You don't have what to pay. I'll give you handouts. Midas Adin means you have enough money to pay for your clothing and food and everything else. You're not a schnorrer, right? So the Hashem created the world. He wanted to do Midas Adin. He saw that people won't last. So the Shvacha people, they're weak in character and conviction. So he said he'll do Midas Rachman. And the Rachman, part of the Rachman is he's Magdim Rachman Ladin. That's what we always say, Hashem Elokeichem. Hashem is Midas Rachman before Midas Adin. Right? It overpowers. That's the main ingredient. The first ingredient is the main ingredient. So, Ani Amarti Elokim Atem. I want you to be divine, Elokim Midas Adin, and you don't have to go into Midas Rachman because you're not a beggar. But ultimately, he did the Aveda of the Faith and he brought Misal Oilam. Now it's Midas Rachman, right? Uvnei Elyon Kulchem. You would have been elevated people. Aber Ochin Ka'adam Tamusun. You'll die like Adam Rishon. Why? Because you brought Misa to the world, death to the world. So when Hashem takes it out of Egypt, He tried to rectify that. When He brought Matan Torah, everybody became healthy, and they died by the first two dibris, and then they came back to Chisames, and they're not going to die again. But the Chet Egel brought back the Rachman again. After Matan Torah, they were a clean slate, like before, like Adam Rishon before the Chet, and now they don't have to die, and you can do Midas, and everybody deserves it. But after the Egel, nobody deserves it. So you have to go back to Midas Rachman Magna Ladin. So this is the pasuk. Ani Hashem Elokechem. I'm the God. Midas Rachman Elokechem Din. I should have tasted the medicine time I took out. So why Elias Lechem to be a God Midas Adin? Because have a clean slate. But before you did David of the Egel, therefore I have to go back to Ani Hashem Elokechem. Okay. I can't talk. I just want to say a little nicer about talking slanderous of Yenim, or rather, of saying a good word for Yenim. I wanted a few mice, but one mice. There was a guy that shnodded in America. He didn't have money for chasana. He came of age of marrying off his first daughter. He didn't have any money. Could you just hang it up, please? So he comes to America. Drei Wochen, it dates for 3 weeks and nothing doing, and he doesn't know what to do. He reminds himself that in his yeshiva in Eretz Yisrael, when he learned there many years ago, there was one bacher that everybody said that he traveled to America and he's gone to Matzliach or something. Maybe he'll look him up. Then he felt bad because he wasn't even in my class. He was younger than me. I never had any shaykhs with him whatsoever. So how come he should help me? But I don't know anybody else. So he took he called Eretz Yisrael. He said, whatever happened to this guy? Who can find out in the yeshiva? Who was in his class? Who was his friend? Kid say he found out the number, calls the guy up. The guy, and he says, I know I wasn't close to you and I wasn't your classmate, but maybe you can help me for it. And he said, give me a few days. He calls him back, come to my house tomorrow night. I arranged a parlor meeting with my friends and let Varim, speak from the hearts and Hashem, we'll see what we can do for you. The kid said he wanted like $10,000, 30,000 shekel. He didn't know what's flying. He just wants to pay for the wedding night and he didn't expect anything else. All he did 3 weeks is paid for, collected for his ticket. The kid said, he comes to the house, he speaks Varim, and the people really, really reacted unbelievable. I mean, not only $10,000, not only a few $100,000, they gave him a dita. It turns out he doesn't have a dita himself. They gave him a dita for his kids. They gave him money for investment. They paid out everything whatsoever. The old initiative of this old yeshiva mate that never had any shaykhs with him. So he was overwhelmed. The checks came in and the kid, he looked around, he was crying. He said, what happened? Why'd you do this? Do you do this for everybody? He says, no, I never did it before. So why'd you do it for me? We were never close even. He says, because of something that happened, because of what you told me, a few words that you told me. He said he was a quiet guy, so that's why he doesn't do these things. But he was going to leave yeshiva and go totally chas v'shalom. And what happened was that nobody realized that he even exists. Nobody acknowledged his presence. Nobody ever told him a good word. Nothing. He was so lonely. He was poor like the nach. So he took the few objects he had, the few shmatas he had, put it in one bag, and he was walking out of yeshiva forever. And guess what? He comes downstairs. He tells him, you came in, you were older than me, a class older. You came in with a cold drink that you just got from somewhere. And you opened it up, you're trying to drink, you bumped right into me and it spilled over me. And it was like the only clean clothing I had. And I felt like, I'm horrible. Here, nobody, that's the only welcome I get in yeshiva. And he's leaving. He's going out to the front door and that's it forever. And you went and turned around and you came over to me with such hachno, with such love and with such care, and you said, I'm so sorry. I would never want to hurt such a bachente edel neshama like you. You've come across as somebody so special, so adin, so mit a neshama. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. Is it okay? And you spoke to me for a minute and you calmed me down. And I was so embarrassed. I ran away. Where did I run? I ran back to my room. I cried for a few minutes. Nobody was ever so nice to me in my life. That gave me confidence. I said, I'm not going to get such a beautiful reaction from a bacha. I wish he would spill this drink on me 100 times a day. It was so beautiful. He took that energy and he didn't quit. And he went on to life. He went to America, got married, and he has a ganz beautiful mishpacha. And there's a große gvir also. And he's a toimech Torah, and his friends also millionaires. And we decide that's the least I can do for you, because all this that I have and my friend, that's because of one sentence or two sentences you gave to me. The guy didn't even remember the story as much as that. But that gave him back so much more years later when he needed it. Zog a good word, don't bashmuz, say a good word, it goes so far, the ripple effect is so the Eibshter will helfen. We should take this good word and put in life into people. And to be mechayim eis mamish. And the Eibshter should bench us all with gesund, mit naches, panosse, and ehrliche, Yiddische, gesunde Deures. Amen. Let's dedicate a mazel tov to our niece, Meryl. What's her name? Her family name? The Gutman's daughter, my choshev shvoga, my wife's sister and husband. Rabbi Moshe Gutman and his wife Rebbetzin Nechama Gutman and the Dora Mirror. I don't know the family unfortunately, but they just had a baby today, and one of the Mazel Tov Lechem Shem Tiv, and all this baby should bring simcha and nachas, doyus yishalim v'brachim for everybody in our family and all of Klal Yisrael. Maybe should tell by everybody. Amen.